YouTube, Lumwis Post 1975 question. What games would you rather see a retro boot of than a reboot? And by that I mean rather than sort of reboot it for new hardware or next gen hardware, except the fact that it never really worked outside of, you know, the limitations of the hardware it originally ran on, be it, you know, 8-bit or 16-bit. That kind of benefited it. That's why people fell in love with it. Now I guess whether a game can be sort of moved on to a different sort of more powerful system is down to the programmers or not, but to me certain games they've never ever managed to get away with it. Now I do have to say, you know, I'm like the next bloke, I look forward to the next gen, and there are games that, well, not so much this one looming, but there are games that I think I would love to see how they would do that on the next gen. But at the same time I do think people should realise that some games it doesn't work for, and the past will back me up on that. You know, games like Castlevania, I don't think... To me, the last great Castlevania games were on the PlayStation 1, and they were ones that essentially better looking, better sounding versions of the SNES. Everything they've done since has just been tank balls. You know, the Wii one, where it's a 3D fighting game with physics on the ladies, that's quite frankly wow. And then you had the one that's on PlayStation 3 and 360 that my mates openly call Castlevania God of War, because that's not a Castlevania game. It's a very, very good game, but it's God of War. It's not a Castlevania game, you know. And companies, you know, companies are not shy to this idea of retro booting. I guess probably not so much to help us out, you know, that, you know, hey, you go, you love these old games, have this, but they're pretty much, hey, retro gaming's massive, people like this stuff, we can make some money out of this. Although, you know, I'm still glad that we got it, because you got the two Mega Man games that are on PlayStation 3 and Xbox right there, digital only, you know. They're basically 8-bit games, you know, 8-bit looking, 8-bit sounding, and, you know, 8-bit playing, and sort of actually continue on as sequels to the original NES Mega Man series. Then you got, that's Contra Rebirth. You got the Rebirth games, you got Castlevania Rebirth, Contra Rebirth, and Gradius Rebirth. That are essentially SNES looking games running on WiiWare. Now with both these series of games, I honestly think they're missing a trick, because while I'm glad they exist, and I had to get them through sort of digital download, put them on a disc, people, put them on a disc. You make so much money, you know, it would be ridiculous. But some games, they've tried again and again and again, and to me they were supposed to exist in their basic form, you know. It was fun, it was great, but every time they tried to sort of redo it, reboot it or whatever, regardless of the machine it was running on, it never really worked. The charm was missing, something was missing. Games that spring to mind immediately are the Ninja Gaiden series, you know. Again, they are fun games, you know. The last sort of Xbox One was, I'm not saying it's super deep or anything, it's a fun game, but it's not Ninja Gaiden, you know. It didn't work. And the series that I would like to talk about, and the question that I want to ask is, yeah, of all the franchises I love, you know, that I would like to see retro booted and not rebooted, because they have tried to throughout the years, mainly on the PlayStation 2, and it absolutely didn't work. Shinobi. Shinobi is an absolute gem of a game. That's upside down. He's a ninja, he can deal with it. That's Shadow Dancer. It's an absolute gem of a game. You know, and then you had Shinobi 3, which was sort of its swan song, I guess. And then, obviously the arcade original that never came out on the Mega Drive. It came out on the PC Engine and the Master System. That always slightly annoyed me. PC Engine version is absolutely amazing, by the way. But they tried to do it a couple of times on the PlayStation 2, didn't they? And they tried to do it on the 3DS. And no, this it's like I said, I don't fear change, but it's like, this isn't Shinobi. This doesn't feel like Shinobi. This feels like an over-the-top gory ninja game that's just meh. You know, I can't look at this character and just that's, you know, Joe Musashi. It's not. It's just some ninja with nice shiny graphics fucking people up, and there's none of the charm. You know, I'm not attached to the character as much as I was on the sort of the 16-bit versions. I think there's a NES version, isn't there? But yeah, so I mean, companies know this and they're out there doing this. Whether we get more of the next gen, I don't know. But some franchises, I just don't think they're supposed to exist in a more powerful sort of representation of how they were established. And as I said, I understand that we have to push forward and grow and evolve, you know, with hardware and technology, but that's not me clinging to the past. But I'm just talking about franchises that never really sort of worked in that area, and that to me, one series I would love to see retro booted, preferably in a solid state form of media rather than a digital download, but in this case I will happily take it. Yeah, that's that's Shinobi. And on a slight side note, because I was talking to someone at work this morning about, you know, my thoughts on this and the fact that I've been playing Mega Man, he actually said he'd like to see a Zelda game, like in the, you know, in the style of Link to the Past. And I'm like, yeah, but dude, you're one of the biggest Zelda fans ever. And he goes, oh yeah, I'm not saying it should replace current Zelda games. I'm not saying I want it, you know, retro booted instead of rebooted. But I think the two could exist together. I think there is a definite market for the fact that people have a lot of sort of, you know, affection and charm for that. I mean, most of my mates consider Link to the Past to be pretty much the best Zelda game. So anyway, am I just talking bollocks? Am I waffling? Are there games that you think just didn't cut it when they tried to sort of reinvent them or update them, and that you would rather see a retro booted version of than a rebooted version of? I'd love to know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.